Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, President. I'm very happy to see the escalator actually worked today. And I'm very happy to see the teleprompter is also working. So as I address you, thank you all very, very much. Since our citizens pay 84, for example, 41%, 100,000, on the effects on countries of relentless narco, as most illegal immigrants will not be able, like mine, Trinidad and Tobago, recent increased protections at the U.S. cartels and criminal gangs routed in the Eastern Caribbean, which is where my country is located. Violence, drug arms, the innumerable activities of drug cartels, U.S. military actions unreservedly, was including Trinidad and Tobago, to combat drug trafficking in the hemisphere. The United Nations destabilizes institutions. This principle, but developed countries, that is exactly what has been with policies. Balance is a pragmatic necessity. As we progress, it will be impossible to disarmament, but even the smaller nations, just as we call for, and we have never been silent, to the tenets of multilateralism. The United Arab Emirates to strive for more, sometimes uncomfortable decisions. And as I said, in a multipolar world order, and economic power is now disseminated across the globe. I thank you very much, Madam President.
I thank the Prime Minister of the Republic.
Okay, what's good, everyone? It's Nigel here, Trinidad Empowerment Network. So this is worse than I ever imagined it would be. This is actually worse than I have ever imagined it would be. Because what we just witnessed at the United Nations was a national embarrassment. And I do not say these words lightly. It was a national embarrassment. Now, our Prime Minister, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, carried her Monday night forum clown show straight to New York. And in doing so, she dragged Trinidad and Tobago with her. Now, I do not know if this woman is auditioning for a United States green card. I do not know what she's auditioning for, but if she was, she would have gotten the job. Not that Donald Trump knows who she is, not that Donald Trump probably even knows what Trinidad is or where Trinidad is, but she did a heck of a job auditioning for some sort of American green card, believe me. So the speech, instead of representing us with dignity, the Prime Minister went full subterranean, literally echoing the worst of Donald Trump, the worst of Donald Trump rhetoric. In her speech, she claimed the Caribbean is not a zone of peace. It's not a zone of peace, according to her, tossing aside decades of CARICOM diplomacy and the international consensus that our region must stay demilitarized and, of course, sovereign. The speech, I was flabbergasted, and I didn't think I could be anymore by this leadership currently in Trinidad and Tobago. I was astonished, flabbergasted by what I saw and what she had to say. This is why I say I could only imagine she is auditioning for an American green card, aligning with the Donald Trump's playbook. If you had any doubt, if you hold any doubt that she was aligning herself with the Donald Trump playbook, you go look at his speech. And what's worse, she parroted Trump's hardline language, his hardline language on illegal immigrant, a move steeped in xenophobia. Most of you call yourself Christian. Jesus was an immigrant, I remind you. Now, Trump's own UN address, if you've seen the embarrassment that was, is already a global low point. A global low point. mocking the United Nations values and showcasing an increasingly erratic presidency is what he showed the world. It was embarrassing, embarrassing. Yet our prime minister chose to echo those words and stand beside that agenda, signaling to the world that Trinidad and Tobago shares the same values as Donald Trump's America. That is embarrassing. I am astonished. I am astonished. I didn't think I could be anymore. I thought I thought I had seen the worst of this current regime in Trinidad. It appears we are only just getting started. So the fantasy, ladies and gentlemen, the fantasy of United States protection that lives rent-free clearly in our prime minister's head. Let's talk about this delusion now. Let's talk about this delusion that America will defend Trinidad if a conflict breaks out with Venezuela. God forbid, and Maduro is watching, by the way, if a conflict breaks out with Venezuela. Washington barely acknowledges us unless there's oil or a shipping lane to exploit. To the United States, Trinidad is a small energy outpost, nothing but collateral. We are not a partner. Understand that. We are not a partner. We are simply collateral. If shooting starts, I remind you, shooting starts between great powers. Trinidad will be or will not be on any Pentagon rescue plan. If you believe that, I've got a chocolate teapot to sell you. History proves it. Small nations in the Caribbean have always been treated as expendable when U.S. interests shift. We are nothing but collateral. This is why I find this so astonishing. Like I said, I'm flabbergasted by it. Trump in particular has zero knowledge of our island. He knows nothing about Trinidad. He cares nothing about Trinidad. We have nothing to offer him. To imagine he would personally defend Trinidad is fantasy, bordering on reckless, bordering on words that I can't think of in my head right now. This is insane to me. And I cannot push this home to you, the audience, strongly enough. So you may ask yourself, and I'm yet to work this out. Anything I say as to why she's doing this is nothing but speculation. So why would the Prime Minister align herself with a man who probably couldn't find Trinidad on a map? Probably, I say, most likely, absolutely cannot find Trinidad on a map. Is it for political favor? Is it for a photo op with a US president? She even made jokes. About the escalator and the teleprompter issues that Donald Trump faced, that they're losing their mind over in America right now. She even made jokes about it. It was embarrassing and cringeworthy to watch. Some imagine leverage or visa trade is what she's begging for. Leverage or visa trade. Whatever the motive, it betrays a lack of strategic thinking and a shocking misunderstanding of global power politics. I don't believe the Prime Minister is this delusional, or is she? Is she this delusional to believe that to suck up to Donald Trump means that he in some way is going to take our side or to defend us even if war does break out, which is what this man is edging for in Venezuela? The real risk here, by discarding the zone of peace, by discarding the zone of peace principle, she invites foreign militarization. She invites foreign militarization and undermines Caribbean unity just when we need it the most. And we appear to be the only island that's taken this path. If you look at Mia Mottley's speech, which I'm going to address tomorrow, look out for tomorrow's video. It's a complete contrast. So instead of strengthening CARICOM, or instead of making our ties stronger and addressing our crime crisis at home, which is, as you know, we face, she is chasing the illusion of United States protection. A mirage that could leave Trinidad isolated and exposed. We are unable to defend ourselves. We cannot defend ourselves in Trinidad and Tobago. This is why we always took the line of diplomacy. We never took sides. We don't take sides in the Caribbean. We are a zone of peace and we need to remain that way. So Trinidad and Tobago may be small. Trinidad and Tobago may be small, but weakness is no excuse to bow to a bully who glorifies ignorance. No Caribbean citizen voted, I say that in inverted commas, no Caribbean citizen voted to align our foreign policy with Trump's xenophobia. But then I question me saying that. Right now, we are gambling with our sovereignty. We are gambling with our sovereignty for what? A handshake in Washington. This is insanity. I have never in my life seen anything like this, and I do not know where this would end up. I do not know where this will end up, but it doesn't look like it would end up in a good place. And we have to demand leadership. We must demand leadership. Leadership that defends our sovereignty. Leadership that invests in our communities. Leadership that works with our Caribbean neighbors. Whether we like it or not, we are geographically very, very close to Venezuela. Very, very close to Venezuela. We need solutions to crime and economic inequality, not empty promises of American military rescue. Not this insane logic that somehow, can you imagine? This man barely wants to do anything for Ukraine v. Russia, however you feel about that war that's going on right now. However you feel, whatever side you take, he barely wants to do anything for them. Why would he want to do anything for Trinidad? The Caribbean is still a zone of peace. In closing, I want to say this. We remain a zone of peace. We don't care for war. We do not care for war. And long may that continue, but only if we refuse to let reckless politicians trade our dignity for applause in New York, for illusions of favor from a U.S. president who doesn't even know we exist. Wow. Wow, Trinidad. This is what we voted for. Wow. Talk about learning the hard way. Talk about learning the hard way. Well, we've got 4.5 more years to go. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on my next video. I am Vex. Like, subscribe, I'll see you guys on my next video. Look after each other. God bless. And I mean that. Look after each other. Take care. Peace.